So, class, today we're going to talk about fire hose. It's an essential tool in our jobs, firefighting, pretty basic stuff, but since you guys are Firefighter 2 Academy students, we're going to start with the basics and go from there. So, first thing, we'll talk about the construction of various types of fire hoses. We have a couple different kinds. The first is rubber construction, okay? We have large diameter and small diameter rubber fire hose. Basically, it's rubber covered, so from the outside it's a flexible rubber coating. The inside is lined with rubber, but in the middle there's a fabric reinforcement, okay? Now, some rural departments have booster lines. It's a hose reel of a length of rubber. We don't have those. We basically use small diameter rubber hose for car fires. We call our trash line. Some of our engines have a flat accordion load on the side. Others have it loaded in the front bumper. It's our primary line for car fires and, like I said, trash or rubbish fires. We do not have any booster lines on our department. Another form of rubber hose is large diameter. It's also flexible. This is used for supply line, okay? On our engines, we have supply line on the top in large quantities, and we also have a short roll on the front bumper of our engines, okay? The soft rubber hose is 5 inches in diameter. Basically, this kind of supply line goes from the engine to the hydrant in order to obtain a positive water supply, okay? A pressurized water supply, I should say. The other type of intake hose that we have is hard suction, okay? It looks rubberized, but it is 5-inch or 6-inch in diameter, and it's hard, okay? And it's 10-foot lengths. So that is used for drafting. I know you guys aren't very familiar with it, but basically it's when you take water from a static water supply, like a tank, a portable tank, or you can even use like a pond, and you draft water from there to go into the pumper to use for water supply. That's also commonly used in rural settings or in non-hydrated areas. We do have a couple of those in our district, okay? The second type of fire hose, or second type of construction fire hose, is fabric. Two common types are woven fabric jacket and also impregnated single jacket. The woven fabric jacket has been around for a long time. It's very traditional, but we're kind of getting away from that in a lot of departments because it can be affected by organic materials, mold, mildew, that kind of stuff. The synthetic materials that we're using are more resistant to mold and therefore damage. So we have synthetic, and it's also lighter weight. So we have synthetic on all of our engines, okay? Now these are also rubber lined on the inside. This is just a quick example. This is 1.75 inches, 50-foot length that we have. It's much lighter weight than the old traditional cotton hose. And we have 1.75 inches, 2.5 inch, and also 3 inch on one of our hose lines. All right, and then the third type is hard suction, which I already spoke about. Okay, do you guys have any questions regarding the 3 different types of hose construction?
So with this large diameter hose here, essentially what you're saying is between the 2 types, this is water is being pushed from a municipal source into the engine. Correct. To be utilized, and then on a hard suction, it's being drawn from a static source?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And then what are these couplings here at the end? What are these?
That's going to be my next topic.
Oh,
that's okay. As the different couplings on different types of hose. So, good question though, James. The next thing we are going to talk about is the different couplings. Okay, so the first type, the most common type, is threaded. All right, so these are some just little tools that I brought in so that you can take a better look at them. The threaded couplings that are found on the smaller diameter hose, you can see there's threads on the inside, okay, and there is two different ends called a male and a female. I will turn this outside so that you can see. So, if I can get this out of here.
Push it, it might be easier to push.
Yeah, so the male end, we always roll on the inside, okay? We keep the male end on the inside of the hose roll because it has exterior threads. The female thread has interior threads. So the reason why we want to keep these inside is in order to protect the threads from any damage, getting anything inside them, all right? These, the female swivels like this to make for easy connection, and the little, these ridges here are called rocker lugs, okay? And if you notice in comparison, they call this part, the part that does not move on the female coupling, they call this the shank, okay? And so when you put these together, you can feel the rocker lugs on the male end of the shank, and you feel no lugs on the male end, okay? So, another component of these is called a Higby indicator, okay? You can see, well, I'll show you guys when this is over. There are little notches in here that make joining these couplings easy. It makes them easy to line up. When you know the challenge is just doing these when you have gloves on, different weather conditions. You know, so these little indicators are just like little tools to help you connect them. Okay, so one of the tricks that we try and learn, or that we try and teach in the academy, is when this is connected. If you get lost or disoriented in a fire and you are trying to find your way to either the nozzle